On this episode, we are going to talk about webinars. Are they still a good marketing tool?
Hello, and welcome to episode 29 of Tip for Tip, where you ask your marketing questions in exchange for a tip in your industry. My name is Aaron.
And my name is Christian, and today we have Larry D. West III asking us questions about webinars.
Hey guys, Larry D. West III here, CEO of L.West Enterprises and the best dressed realtor here in the great state of Texas. My question is, are webinars dead or are they still a good marketing tool? And if they are still alive, what's the best way to market a webinar?
All right, so this is kind of like a three-part question. So the first question was, are webinars dead? No, I don't believe so. Are they still a good marketing tool? Yes. And what's the best way to market a webinar? To be honest, I think webinars are a great marketing tool. You just have to really know what you're doing, and you have to provide real value. I'm talking about real stuff. So for example, I have here a kind of like not a marketing strategy, but some things that you have to have in place in order to have a really successful webinar. And even before the webinar starts, you need to make sure that you have some traffic going to your website or going to that webinar landing page. Make sure that you're actually using ads on Facebook, on Google. Make sure that you're actually advertising this webinar. Make sure that you're offering discounts for last minute people who are trying to get in on the webinar. During the webinar, you need to make sure that your presentation is on point, that you're actually, your content is like pristine and is like the best that you've ever put together. The storytelling needs to be good and the closing needs to be really good. And then post webinar, you need to make sure that you provide a replay, that you do a follow-up emails, that you do close emails, and then that you do retargeting with whatever that you're trying to sell on that webinar. You're actually retargeting and actually putting out more ads for those people in order to keep reminding them. So again, you need to make sure that you provide real value, you make it interesting, and like first and foremost, like again, value, and then sell your product.
That's good. So I have a little bit of experience in webinars only because I've watched a lot of webinars. And I think that the best thing for you to do right now is to go find people like Lewis Howe, Amy Porterfield, Rick Mullerty. You can slow this down, and Ramit Sethi. Those people are the ones that are killing it on webinars. They actually even have classes on webinars. Everything that Christian touched on is exactly right. But just to give you, to go back to the other question, is it dead? Absolutely not. If it's a high ticket item, it's one of the highest converting marketing strategies out there. As soon as they show up, those amount of people that show up, you have a 10 to 30% close rate. That is pretty unseen for the marketing world. Retargeting, you can get to that point, but it is a huge strategy. But it is a numbers game, and the best way that I've seen people do webinar signups is through Facebook, doing a video and telling them about your webinar and what you're going to provide, and then really giving the value. The ones that do the most or do the best on webinars are the ones who give away a lot of their information, because they're saying, hey, this is so good that you gave me this in an hour. What could I do over the course of the next 3 to 4 months? I actually just purchased something we purchased something from a webinar probably a month and a half, 2 months ago. So I know it works, and they're high ticket items, but they do work. So definitely check out those people, and I think that it's a process where you're going to have to do multiple of them and get practice at it. But those people will be able to help you out, and with the strategies that Christian told you, we can answer those more in detail. But really good question. I really like that. All right, Larry, let's hear your tip for us.
All right, guys, the tip that I want to give specifically for business owners that are considering leasing commercial real estate property for their business. A lot of us always think location, location, location. Location is important, but here's what you got to remember about location. Visibility is not enough. The thing that you want to look at more than anything else when you select a spot, the spot that you choose, does the demographic profile that surrounds that particular spot match the demographic profile of your target market? And if it doesn't, well, then you may want to reconsider. Furthermore, are there synergy partners around that current spot that complement your business well? Think about it. Larry D. West III here, CEO of L.West Enterprises and the best dressed realtor here in the great state of Texas.
Okay, I think that's probably one of the best tips that we've gotten. I think it was very well put together and it gave a lot of good information regarding business owners who are leasing commercial property. And I mean, I think that's huge. And just like you said, the demographic in your target market sometimes is even more important than if you have that perfect location. So I mean, I agree 100% with what you just said.
Right. And I think that just to piggyback on that, the retail front, that's really important, but for more synergy partners for us, like if there's a commercial printer near there or there's a lawyer or a CPA, like that's something that we never thought about, but it is a position we're at in our company where we're needing to look for space. So you're preaching right to us, which that's why I think, Christian, I think this is probably one of the best questions, is because we didn't know this and we're really happy for this tip, and I know that a lot of our viewers are going to get value out of this too. So Larry, just want to thank you again. Really loved having you on the show. It was a really good question, a really good tip. It's going to be tough right now. I mean, you may be in the rankings for number 1 on best on tip to tip. Who knows? There's no voting yet. But if you would like to come on Tip for Tip, it's really simple. All you need to do is go to bitbranding.co/tip for tip, fill out the submission form. We actually had a couple people fill it out last week, so thank you for that. It's Christian put the link there, so I think it's easier for you guys to get to. And we just want to have you come on here, ask a question, we'll give it to you. We will run advertising for your business and then just ask that you give a tip back in your industry. So that is all we have for this week. We will see you guys next Wednesday.
All right. See you next week.